Okay, hello everyone. We are going to go on a quick but hopefully detailed journey today around leveraging artificial intelligence, standard AI, ChatGPT, with a bit of know-how and process to hopefully help you increase your efficiency when it comes to creating bios and titles for your YouTube videos. Okay, so there's a premise here which we need to cover, and that you've recorded a podcast and you've got this kind of edited version of your podcast. Now, if you've got that far, you probably know how to export your podcast as a video file. For this, I would encourage you to export your podcast as an audio file because you want the data from the audio. You don't need the video. Remember, we're just trying to make a video bio and title prompt. Now, the other thing I'll preface is that this is optimized for my podcast, The 1 Minute Mentor. If you look into what I'm sharing here, you will see the name 1 Minute Mentor because this prompt has been generated or created with the idea of helping me with my podcast. But you could take this prompt that I've created here and effectively put it into ChatGPT and say, change this from the 1 Minute Mentor to your podcast. So I will provide this prompt in text somewhere in the comments of this post. Okay, so you don't really need to go into detail here, but essentially what I've created is a prompt that, optimizes the text, the podcast data, and to give us some outputs, okay? And what I want here is some titles. I want it to scan through the audio and to look for insights. I've tried to make some rules here that it can't make assumptions, that it must work from this podcast data that I've called it, kind of data embedded within the spoken word. We will need another tool for this, so there may or may not be some costs associated. There probably will be, but I'll try and make a case to where the costs are worth it, because if you do a lot of podcasts, this can really help you. So I'd encourage you before you go over there to have a quick look at this, and basically it will come up with 5 titles. You can change them. It will come up with an introduction, so that's kind of like the body text. It will give some takeaways, and it will, in a cool way, give you the timestamps, which if you paste into YouTube, it will give you those chapters that everyone is doing now on YouTube. So to do this, you'll need the audio, and you'll need to come to this website called auphonic.com. It's not a sponsored post by me. I just use Auphonic because I find it very reliable and good. Auphonic's great in 2 ways. Let me just show you. If I upload the audio that I'm going to use today, it's just this MP3 from my recent podcast. I've edited it. I'm happy with it. Before I upload the YouTube video, I'm going to run this audio through these systems to try and get a great output. So if you come up to presets, you'll see that there's lots of different things here, like a voice cleaner, which is very good. Even out the differences between the microphones going on, and that's all good. But what we're going to use is this automatic chapters, summary, and transcripts. Now, you may be able to find this for free on other websites and services. I haven't found it a very good one, so we're using this. I wouldn't change anything here. I'd let all those presets stay. I would just go ahead and push start production. So that's working away. Depending on the length of your podcast will depend on how long this takes. It's firstly going to upload your MP3, and then it's going to start looking at the spoken word as a data set. And it's going to give you a really cool summary. So you can see here, it's now going through the speech recognition part of this process. Just a quick tip, if you name the audio file, you'll see here that the name I have, Elephon, which is the first name of my guest, is not a common name. So I name it so that the file and the AI have a bit of help. My tip is don't give AI too many options to fail. Give it more data and it will help you with a more effective outcome. So there we go. It's done its work. What it provides is a 1 minute MP3. We've already got that. What we want is this HTML file. And it's a little bit useless, the HTML file, for most things. because what it is, it just opens up a website or a browser. Let me download it and show you what I mean. Okay, so that's downloaded. So we're going to go to my desktop. You'll see here now I have a HTML file and an MP3 file that I had before. If we click into this HTML file, you can see here it's gone through and done a really good job, okay? This is very useful. You could just use this, for example, for your YouTube. It gives a brief summary. I want it to be a bit more, though. So I want all of this data, and you've got two options here. You could copy transcript, and you could go into ChatGPT and paste that straight in. And I do that, but I also, sometimes if I want to keep the file, I export it as a PDF. Okay, and you just save it as a PDF. If I want to come back to that, for example. So I'm not going to use the copy-paste technique. I just like that GPT can read it from the PDF. So let's get rid of that. Let's upload the PDF that I downloaded here. And that's all the information here, right? And so while that is uploading, I'm going to go back to the prompt that we talked about at the beginning. I'm going to copy and paste that into ChatGPT. And then I'm simply going to push go. And the prompt is built to read the documents. Okay. So here we go. It's given me some ideas for names. It's given me a video introduction. It's given me some takeaways and the timestamps. Okay. And you can see here that it's quite effective. I normally don't change too many things because in the prompt I've asked it to optimize for SEO, but sometimes I will. So let's go and have a look on YouTube where I use this exact technique to upload this podcast. Now, you'll see here a thumbnail. I made that manually. Maybe I'll do a thumbnail video and tutorial another day. But for now, my goal is to show you how I've leveraged it. So I've leveraged it by using the bones of what the prompt has given me for a great title. I've used it to do my bio here, the key takeaways, the timestamps. I've pasted them into my area here, but I've also pasted them into the comments. And so I don't know exactly which one makes the chapters, but you can see it's quite professional. It brings up chapters here based on the outputs I provided. So I hope this little demo is useful to you, is helpful to you. Watch this back to hopefully get the bones of it. AI is about using different bits and pieces to get an outcome that's repeatable. That's how I wish to use it. How can I be effective every time I want to use this tool? So the key things here is that you've got far enough in your podcasting journey that you can edit. If you can edit, you can output your video version. I would simply recommend you output an audio version. Use something like Orphonic, which does come with costs, but hopefully you can see the power in that. Use the transcript preset to create a PDF. Then you use something like this prompt here, which you could take my prompt and adapt it for your podcast to give you the bones, to make it sustainable for you to do all of this work. It's quite a lot of work to put all these podcasts together regularly. And that's one of the big reasons why people stop podcasting is it's just too much going on. You've got to think about how it looks, how it sounds, the guest, the conversation, the editing, the uploading, the data that you need to put into YouTube. So best of luck in your journey. If there's any way that myself or the team at Campfire Studios can help you, do feel free to reach out anytime.